talked about compete level.
Yeah.
How would you kind of assess that tonight?
In spots, I think. I didn't think it was a full game of compete. In the fairness, we're all finding our way through it. We haven't really even remotely come close to seeing what our actual lineup will look like with everybody on the ice. All 3 games. Our first game, for the most part, a lot of guys that probably aren't here anymore, as you guys saw. A lot of guys that ended up going to Reading. And then, last night we had a little bit more in the lineup. Tonight we had a little bit here. So it's been a mix of everything, so we haven't really seen what we had. So, I think the compete was okay, like in spots. I thought we started pretty good. I thought penalties kind of got the momentum of the game a little bit scrambly, and we're having to interchange lines and kind of find our way through those situations, which I think is good for us as a staff, as a brand new staff, to manage those situations and let the players feel us in those situations. But to get back to the question of competing, I thought it was okay. Like, we're going to demand a whole lot more than that in the way that we are going to do things. And once we get our group set here and finalized, and we'll start moving into how that's going to look.
How much has kind of like tonight in the last few days just kind of like informed you and your staff in terms of here's what this next week is going to look like leading up to opening week?
Yeah, we had going into the week prior to these games, we pretty much had a plan of we got to get them the basics of what we're going to do as a system, allow them some freedom in some areas to just see the players kind of play and how their brains work, and it gives us an opportunity to grab a hold of some of the players that we don't know and see how they process the game and what type of player they are in the situations that we're in. And then knowing that moving after tonight's game, like, we have a week to prepare for our home opener with our team, and we'll start going right back to the start of grinding down the areas that we need to tighten up that are going to be different than they have been in the past. Tightening up some areas of like our offensive game and really dropping more of our offensive game into the players and letting them say, we haven't really given them a whole lot when it comes to that, to be completely fair with you. Like, we've saved a little bit of it to just wait until we get our team on the ice, and then we can start moving through those things. Because I'm a believer that you have to build it step by step. It's not, here's everything at you right away. Like, we have to build it out, and then I'd say couple weeks we add a new layer and a new wrinkle, or maybe it's a different style of D zone that we're playing that we might have to add a different layer in, but slowly kind of implement the rules and the things that we want to see in our O zone. But the next week here coming up, we'll have a good day off tomorrow. They all need one. Everybody needs one, and then we'll get to work moving into the week.
With how many forwards you're going to have to work with this year,
Yeah.
and this being his third season now, a guy like Samuel, are you kind of expecting that his role is going to change? What you're going to ask for him?
I think once the dust settles here today and we have a clearer picture of what that forward group's going to look like, we've got a lot of forwards, and we got a lot of guys that are pretty good players. So we have, I think it's a good thing for everybody, Samu included, because I think competition breeds success, and it's a very competitive group up front right now that you're going to have to play the right way all the time and to make sure you stay in the lineup. There's moves that have been made, obviously, today that could have a forward coming our way, and we have a lot of the new guys that are here, and I think Samu, it's a big year for him. To get back to Samu, I think it's a big year for him to stay healthy and to up the game that he has. He's shown us over the past 2 seasons spurts of, okay, he's offensively dynamic. He can score. He produces offense. He was very good on the power play for 2 years. But he needs to take his game to the next level. Like, that's just, it's in that time of his career where we have to make the next step of what we are as a player, and being healthy and elevating your game as the season goes on, and not starting really well and then kind of tapering off. We need to keep building everything, and that's something that we need to work with him on, and he needs to work on this year is moving up in that every month of the season we're getting more out of him.
What does that next step look like? Those things on film that show me that's a guy that's building and he's progressing.
Well, I think when you at the eyes, like when you get him for the first time, like his ability to skate, He can fly up and down the rink. He does have a set of hands where he can make plays in tight spaces. He's got a very good shot. When he hits the net, he gives himself a chance to score all the time. But now it's just the consistency of bringing a 200-foot game every single night, being a threat every single night, and not having one game where you're just all over the puck and you're all around it, and then the next game it's hard to find him. And I think that's a lot of players finding their way in the pro game, young guys coming up. Like, it takes time to really understand how to be consistent every day. And it's not just in your gameplay, it's consistency in your everyday life of how you eat, how you sleep, when you come to the rink, how you work out, what's your daily routine. The best players in the world they do the same thing every day. Like, they just do the same thing every day, and it sets them up for their success. And that's something that we can work through with Samu, of just understanding, like, how do we find consistency? And that's not just when you step on the ice, it's every single day to set yourself up to have consistency.